And you also album number 13.
Album number 13. By the name
For this, you come up with something special, or is it just a lucky break that album number 13 is named as well? Number 13 contains 13 songs and will be released on Friday the 13th.
And it's going to be on my 13th birthday. That's a special thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously, we wanted to keep things simple.
Can you put the mic more on? So.
Hang on. Better? Like
yeah.
this? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm?
We just kind of, we wanted to keep things really simple, nothing complicated. 13, everything is 13. And 13th studio album. And
Blonde approved.
Blonde approved.
Are you superstitious?
Als Blondine darf ich auch sagen, ne?
Yeah. Are you superstitious, or is the 13 more a lucky number for you?
I think it's more you like.
I think it's a lucky number, especially if I sitting on the plane and if I look at the seats and you get number 12 and you have number 14 and you're sitting on number 15 and you think, what is the poor guy's going to think about it? Something is wrong in this world. So I think the
same on a ship, on a cruise ship. You don't have any deck number 13.
Yeah, on the plane also 13. You don't have any 13 seat in most of the plane. So that's what I'm saying. That 4, I think, is like, it's a lucky number for whatever. You can be scared about it. You could be, you can think it's great.
Or lucky.
Yeah, it's lucky or unlucky, Yeah. It's lucky for someone, it's unlucky for somebody else. So I think it's a cool thing. It's like most of the thing we did on Friday 13 turned out to be a good things. And if people, and actually you have Black Friday too, which is like most of the time is on Friday 13. So it's a good thing.
Okay, and for Rockland and the Rockland listeners, always Friday the 13th is a lucky day.
So good. So we're gonna get two things together: the lucky Friday for Rockland and the lucky number for Gotthard, I guess.
We talk later about this.
Okay, let's do this.
The first announcement for your album came up in January with the single Mysteria. You
Correct.
played it. The song is influenced absolutely with elements of Arabic music.
Yeah. Middle East, I would say.
Reminds me a little bit of Mirat, this Arabian metal band from Tunisia living in France. Very cool. Okay. But what was a challenge for you to use these Oriental elements? Were you too long in Morocco on holidays?
No, actually not. I never been to Morocco in holidays, and I think I'm not gonna go either. But because I don't think it's my kind of food, which is like very spicy and it's not my cup of tea. But we had some backing singer on the last tour, and they always came up with those kind of thing. And then we thought it was a cool idea to get the touch of a international style. And by the way, it's not the first time that Gotthard came up with kind of melodies like this. We had Shangri-La with that on the Need to Believe album, and so it's nothing new. And I think also music have no barriers, and we're supposed to get along together and get things going together. And I think nowadays it's like the world is a town, and town is the world. Everything is getting together.
Okay, it makes the song interesting.
Oh, thank you.
But I mean, and in a way, it was a kind of a happy accident too. Wasn't it? Because we had the song finished and recorded, and we had our backing vocal girls. They came over to sing on some choruses and just to add some backing vocals and. And then you guys from the production team had this idea to told her to Maham, her name is, and she's actually Egyptian, and they said just improvise anything there, just make some do all these sort of Oriental vocal, and she just did a whole lot of them, and it just gave the song a whole other touch. Which I mean, when we initially wrote the song, we didn't have that in mind at all. This just sort of happened as the
on the way to
the production, and it was a great. It's just funny how things happen. Sometimes it's.
And Mysteria is also kind of a woman that you don't know what it is exactly, or what's behind this mask or whatever. So therefore, everything started like that, and
it just kind of all fit together. It's sometimes you start backwards.
And why this different writing of Mysteria? like with a?
Well, because I suppose we wanted to do something a little bit different.
and not every Maeder is written the same way, right? You get Maeder, which is M-A-E-E, and then it could be, but they all sounds Maeder, isn't it? Or
the song was written in a collaboration with Francis Rossi, right? It's not the first time you work with him. Bye Bye Caroline was with him. What's so special working with Francis? He's a funny guy, I know.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's a really funny guy. We get along really well, actually. And we were, we met on the Rock Meets Classic tour together, and we were touring for about a month together, and just hanging out a lot together, became friends, and started, writing already. The Bye Bye Caroline song got written, backstage for, over the course of a few weeks there while touring. And we just stayed friends, and we've been to his house, to his studio there, and he had this. I mean, already back then when we were doing the Caroline thing, he already had this kind of melody idea, and so it's and then he keeps sending Leo some ideas. What do you think about this and this?
And vice versa, just like
Bye Bye Caroline sounds more Rossi, and Mysterious sounds more Gotthard. It's my opinion.
Maybe, yeah.
It's funny. It's funny because actually it was the opposite. Because we came up with the Bye Bye Caroline, and he came up with the Mysterious sound, which is pretty interesting
melody. So it's actually the opposite, but it's cool.
That is interesting.
There's another one, Eric Besuch.
Also, who we met,
and you made 2 songs on the album with him. The first, the starter song on the album, Bad News.
Yes.
Yeah.
And another one.
Which is Marry You. Which actually, in fact, Marry You is written only from him, from inside, and is a special song which he wrote for his wife, and was released just for his wife. He just played the song for his wife, and then after a working session, we went out for a dinner, and then we were just talking about things and songs or something, and then I went to him and said, "Hey, don't have anything with nobody knows and something special?" Which is like. And then he was thinking about, and at the end of the dinner, say, "I may have something." And then we went back to the studio, and then he got his recording out, and with this little telephone where all the ideas. I said, "Hey, I got this song. What you guys think about it?" And then was Marry You that he played to us, and then we kind of liked it and said, "Hey, let's give it a try." And then we had this crazy idea to record a song after the dinner while we were listening to the song, and we went.
So we'd been that's right. We were back in Leo's house, and because Leo has a studio there, and he actually it's his house, he lives there, and we were in his living room, and we just finished a bottle of whiskey, and it was 4:00 in the morning, and we decided to go down to the studio and record it. And actually, what you get on the album,
best thing you can do.
That's actually what you have on the album. Is actually that
night.
That's actually 4:00 in the morning after a bottle of whiskey. That's actually exactly what that recording is. So.
But what is it to work with Eric Besuch, with Francis Rossi? Is it the input this musician give you to see something different from your own side?
Yeah, I think you always get different. Whenever you're working with different people, you always get different ideas that maybe you wouldn't think of by yourself. And it's an energy. I think it's dynamic when you're together, when you're sitting in a room together and trying out ideas, trying out things. And
it's moving things around, just like we would, if the two of us would share just idea, they would end up just the two of us. But here it was like we have third person or fourth person that we combine the energy and the ideas, which is like this idea brought to the other idea, and the other was changing till you got the thing. And I think it's a great thing, and it's like, especially if you have great musician and great people around you and bring the good vibe, and that's all you need to come up with the great songs. And it's a cool thing. I think you could ask the same thing to the other guys, and they would tell you, it's pretty cool to work with those guys, because we would come up with an idea and we twist it in the other way, just like it's interesting.
Do you have some wishes or dreams you want to work with?
Well, there's always a wishing list, but maybe.
Of course, yeah.
Sir Paul McCartney would be on my top of the 5 list.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that as well. Yeah.
On this Friday, you will release is your next thing, Every Time I Die. What's the story behind?
It's Every Time I Die?
No, I think it's actually the next single will be Bad News.
No, I got Every Time I Die.
Oh, that's interesting. We're going to find out what it's going to be.
It's not. It's Bad News is the next single.
What, Bad News?
Yeah.
So I didn't get this song via Dropbox. I got this.
Really? Can you? Really? So you have Every Time Die?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
See, somebody's doing somebody's doing.
So we could call it the next single is Every Time I Die. We didn't know. Especially, it's going to be the first and the only version for this radio station. Rockland, stay tuned. It's going to be the only way we could get that song happening on the air.
There
Okay.
you go. So which song are we talking about then? Well, I mean, no, the single actually is going to be Bad News.
Bad News?
And it's...
You work with Eric Besuch.
Exactly, which we work with Eric on. It's actually a song that he had that idea for a while. I think he said the guitar riff and we just we put together we put together the rest of the song with him and lyrically it's about I suppose people that want to be around you when you're successful. You know, everybody wants to be around you when you're successful, and when you're down, people like to push you further down, you know. A bit. So it's
and they are happy that you're down.
Yeah, so it's kind of about this.
The wrong kind of friends.
The wrong kind of friends, yeah. And there are plenty of those around. But but it's a great rocking song, a lot of fun actually, and we thought it would be a great way to start the album as well.
Mm-hmm. And we have to talk about the cover of ABBA's SOS. Why do you do a cover of an ABBA song?
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
That's the first question.
On the first record, we did Hush, which is like a very well-known song. Then we did, on the second one, we got Come Together from the Beatles. We had Mighty Queen on the third one. Yeah. Then we did Immigrant Song, which is Led Zeppelin. Yeah. So it was cool to have another great band. Yeah, why not ABBA? I think, I mean, with the Beatles, they're part of the biggest of the whole history of pop and rock music, which is great. And why not? I mean, we've been ABBA fan as a kids, and then the idea was around for a while. We left it over, and then Nick came up once in December or November or whatever. He said, like, yeah.
Yeah, I got asked. The Swiss television actually asked me to come in and do. They were doing an ABBA tribute night for Christmas, and they were asking different singers to come in and and sing. And I thought, ABBA, I don't know. I really, I had to think about it a little bit. And I just tried. I recorded that, just kind of a piano version, just piano and voice, and made a kind of a more dark version of it. And I thought, yeah, okay, I can do this. I'll do this. I showed the guys, and then Leo said, well, guess what? Actually, we wanted to do this song a long time ago, and and so it just kind of made sense to do it, and we
and we liked it
in our, obviously in our own way.
Okay.
What does it make you funny?
I never was an ABBA fan.
Oh, maybe
I was never an ABBA fan either.
And when I studied musicology in Berlin, specialized in pop music, there was a Swedish musicologist and told us something about ABBA and the ABBA industry. And that's why I have some problems with it.
Well, if you look at this kind of way, I think there's a lot of product out there. You're not gonna drink anymore. You're not gonna eat anymore. Yeah. You're not gonna do anything anymore. You're not gonna walk across the street because maybe you're gonna get.
It's a thing of my taste.
Yeah, of course.
The fact is, it's a great and it's a great thing, and then actually,
and what is with ABBA music is it sounds very simple. And it isn't simple.
No, it's not simple.
But that's the greatest thing about it.
And that is a kind of art to make it in this way. To sound that you have the think it's simple melodies and so, and it isn't it. That's yes, it's good.
Very clever. Yeah. Very clever songwriters.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. You go on tour in April?
Yes, we're going to start a tour around Europe, April and May, and then we're going to travel and promote this number 13 is going to be round 13 or whatever you want to call it, I don't know. And then we're going to be around Europe, as I said. We're going to have...
and the festivals in the summer are kind of all over the place as well. And
we have a guest.
Can we expect on your tour, on the shows?
The show is going to be like partly of the new record, and for sure we're going to play some classic from the Gotthard. We're going to have some special guests, which is Magnum on tour with us in Germany, and we can Chaka in Switzerland. Mm-hmm. And so therefore it's going to be a great package. It's a great band to see. Magnum, which is like also a very important band on the rock scene. Is like theatralic rock, I would call it. Very interesting and great. And actually, it's interesting because we started our career in 1992. We were touring together back then, and now it's like
on the scene for a very long time.
Yeah.
For years, yeah.
So it's pretty cool, and then we will see what's gonna happen.
Okay.
Maybe we're gonna get some ABBA fan coming up and singing with us.
Yeah, maybe. Why not?
So have you noticed the big difference between this version and the other version of ABBA? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Go and find out.
So
so you haven't actually heard it?
I don't get the stream with.
well, I think you're gonna be.
You'll be surprised.
You're going to be surprised, I think.